Hey Internet! We are talking about Lindy today. Lindy was our 10th DVD and it came out on April Fool's Day 2013, April 1st. And Lindy is a swing dance. It's also a historic dance. It was done in the Charleston era, and it is the kind of root dance that grew into several different dances, including West Coast swing. So West Coast and Lindy were at one point the same dance, and the biggest thing that drew them apart from one another is that musically, Lindy hoppers, Lindy dancers utilized the same music they did in the 20s to 40s vintage jazz. And the West Coast swing made a musical break from that to decide that they were going to continue similar motions and steps to whatever music came their way and as it grew and evolved. So Lindy has done more to traditional jazz, and then the West Coast went on to be, blues and country and several other genres that fit the West Coast swing really well. So the main dance differences between those two dances is that Lindy is a smooth circular slot, and West Coast is a compressed slot. So even though a lot of the counts and a lot of the footwork is identical, the fact that you're sharing that rotation in Lindy versus compressing it and sending it away to create the same shapes in the West Coast. Lindy was recorded with Hannah, and it was also recorded at the Wards Building. It was probably one of the last DVDs recorded at the Wards Building before we headed over to the Silver Spur. So if you are looking for that one, the DVD is of course available, as well as the digital version of that. So as far as the building blocks go, we've got the hub and the slot that I already talked about. It also uses the flaw principles of most of the swing dances, which is that sitting back counterbalance. And we usually use the back one in Lindy versus the forward flaw of like the Balboa or the changing back and forth like the West Coast does. So Lindy is one of our core swing dances. So when we had our sets, then Lindy was in there with East Coast single swing, Charleston Balboa and blues, where we had the sets of 5 DVDs available for a little while. So we had a kind of a hard time getting Lindy off the ground in the area because there was already a saturation of West Coast, and changing from one to the other is really one of the hardest transitions that you can make if you're checking off the learn all the social dances list, because they're so similar but have such radically different expectations. So in Lindy, the expectation is that you're matching and finding and facing your partner as much as you can. And in West Coast, it's all about that slot and that line, and it doesn't really impact you whether or not you're facing each other, as long as the line is followed there. So that is the major difference. All right, well, that's a little bit of Lindy, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks, Internet. Sorry about earthquake cam.